Dear friends, on behalf of our respected founder president, it is indeed a great privilege for me to welcome you all to the 127th lecture in the AIC lecture series. And those of you who believe in numerology, 1 plus 2 plus 7 is 10, and 1 plus 0 is 1. Which is also my number, so I think it's a lucky day for me. Well, I think before I start the introduction, I can't help but narrate 2-3 things. Brig and Sawant and I were together in the same company, in the Shara company, the same course. We passed up together. On the 10th of June, we would be completing 50 years of our passing out parade. And of course, Brig Sawant is known across the world. In fact, in India, he is a known celebrity. And recently, the Corps of Enemy celebrated its reunion, and Brig Sawant was requested to join in the celebration. He is from the Army Education Corps. He was asked to join in, and 3-4 days events he covered in his inimitable style. He covered the reclaim, and in fact his reclaim and the parade is something, the way he interpreted something everywhere. You can't imagine his knowledge, the way he brings his works, he really makes you feel that you are part of that organization. Secondly, of course, very importantly, this year, in the year 1972, I have gone on a course to France, UK, and I took 2 months, I had taken about 10 days leave after the course. It was a tour in Europe. And it so happened that while I was in Paris, I lost my Amity card. Somebody fit my card. And those days, you know what happens. If you lose your card, it becomes a very serious crime. Fortunately, I was not the only one who had lost it. It seems, I must stand corrected, that from the book of officers, I will feel Marshal Manisha had also lost his card. But that was a saving grace. And when I reported the matter, when I went to the UK High Commission, General Salim, who was our DG here, he was then the Colonel Salim, then he was the MA, the advisor, and in his office there was a Hawla clerk, Punjabi like me. I will not say, because I am half sick, so Punjabi like me, and I told him that I lost my card there. He said, "Kahan lose kiya?" Paris में. वो कहता जी पैरिस से आदमी खो जाता है तो सीधे खाली कार्ड ही यूज किया था ये वाज लॉस्ट ना वो ठीक है so that is a few days but when I reported back to India and I went to Army headquarters there the first person I meet is Brig Sawant and I narrated the story to him and of course perhaps because of him when I reached back into Nagaland and my GOC engineer asked that and I wrote the application out in that I lost my card. He says, that's a damn good place to lose it, but check up from Army headquarters. You know what happened? Just a signal came from Army headquarters, issue new card. There was no inquiry, nothing. So I wrote it to Brig Sawant.
Thank you very much.
Well, we welcome our Honorable Vice Chancellor, sir. Yes. And this is, because you all know him. Well, some introductory remarks to his talk that we are going to have. The unity and cohesion in society is one of the most important areas of continuous improvement for mankind today. Social cohesion in social policy, sociology and political science describes the bonds of union that join people together in society particularly. Our society is multifaceted in character, covering many different kinds of social phenomena. It is associated with theory of sociological, structural culturalism and political conservatism. Therefore, the importance of leadership in the society becomes the vital and one of the most essential elements of the social system of any nation. To discuss such issues and to provide an educated insight, we have an excellent speaker on the topic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are very proud to introduce today's speaker, Brig Sawant-VSM Retd. Brig Sawant is a filmmaker, commentator of the electronic media, and a Vedic missionary. He was also an advocate of the Supreme Court of India. Born on 2nd of June 1934, Brig Sawant holds a Master's in English, Master's in Education, and Bachelor of Law. He has been doing running commentary of the Government Parade, other different investitures and allied ceremonies of both Deepakshan and Akashvani for over 3 years, decades. And of course, his worthy son, Gaurav Sawant, who is following the footsteps of his father in the Architect in India today. Maharishi Swami Gaurav Saraswati and his Vedic treatise Satya Prakash has been an enabling source of inspiration to him. Brig Sawant's aspiration to help mankind know that the pillars of the Vedic Dharma may bring moksha, that the liberation of soul from the cycle of birth, death and rebirth is truly remarkable. Brig Sawant has produced TV documentaries on Tibet, China and Hong Kong for the Doordarshan and the Chinese TV networks. Being an excellent media commentator, his short documentaries on Gurukul Kayandi and other Vedic subjects are being telecast at Doordarshan time and again. He has been widely trained the youth in the art of public speaking and to inculcate Vedic values in life. Brig Sawant has traveled widely both in India and abroad. The worldwide appreciation of his book, Vedic Thoughts, portrays his excellence as a prolific author. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, let me not keep him away from any longer. I now invite Brig Sawant to deliver his talk. Please give him a round of welcome. Mr. Vice Chancellor, Jan Surendra Kumar, Jan Dhawan, ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a privilege to be before you here to make a very short speech. Although I have been told that the time given to me is about an hour, well, I'll utilize 45 minutes or so for talking and 15 minutes for question and answer session, if you like. Well, I'm indeed grateful to you, General Dhawan, for having introduced me in these terms, and I feel honored. I'd also like to thank Dr. Ashok Chauhan. I have got this privilege of addressing the Amity International Center, which you are developing very well on the lines of India International Center, and I'm sure one of these days we will be on the international map as far as inviting speakers is concerned. Well, the topic today is social cohesion and leadership. Social cohesion, especially as India is concerned, is a very difficult job. We are a plural society, and we are not the only one. There are many other countries which may be termed as plural societies. The United Kingdom, the United States of America, and our big neighbor, People's Republic of China. General Dhawan mentioned a moment ago that probably I am very much impressed with China. Well, I have been to China many times, and I speak their language. When we lost the war in 1962, it was decided to train some people in their language, culture, art of warfare, and so on. So I was one of those who were selected. Of course, the Chinese were reluctant to teach us. Hong Kong was no good, although it was under the British at that time, because they speak Cantonese there. And the main language is Mandarin. They don't say Mandarin now, because Mandarin speaks of something which they want to forsake. But they call it Putunghua, which means people's language. Everything is people. It may be for the elite, but still you enjoy it in the name of the people. So it's People's Republic of China, it's People's Railway, it's People's Wealth. Everything belongs to people, except this that the common man, once upon a time, did not have 2 square meals a day, but not so now. Now no one goes to bed hungry, and no one is without clothes, and all children go to school. No more that uniformity of dress of Mao Zedong. China has made tremendous progress. Of course, imbalance is there. Why I am mentioning this is because they also have a plural society. The Han race is the predominant group of people, and it is their language. However, there are ethnic minorities like the Tibetans, Uyghurs, Muslims in western areas like Xinjiang, who are kept under very strict control, so much so that they are not allowed to say their prayers outside the mosque, and no Muslim male is permitted to have more than one wife, because the principle is, and in Chinese they say, Nan Li Ping Dan. Nan means male, Li means female, and Ping Dan means equality. So if there is to be male-female equality, the Chinese administration asked the ulama that will you allow your women to have more than one husband? They said no, it's not permitted. He said then the state will not permit you to have more than one wife. And that is it. The order is passed, and social cohesion by order. The Chinese are known for a great quality that's called mobilization of manpower. No one has mobilized manpower to such an extent as the Chinese people from time immemorial. The Great Wall of China is an example. You may say many people lie buried there, and they never saw their families again after they were marshaled and taken to the Great Wall. That was built over a period of time. That is one kind of social cohesion. What is social cohesion? When the whole society is united to achieve the aim that has been set by the leadership at the center. If the leadership is strong, it will ensure that the aim is achieved. If the leadership is weak, it will not ensure anything. You may pass laws and say the child labor is abolished, but in South Block you see small children serving tea to Bada Babu and Big Babus, and no one raises an eyebrow. So that means the law is not being implemented. Well, so how do we achieve social cohesion in our country? Well, it has to be by motivation. And unless we motivate people, different ethnic groups, we will not achieve the aim. Ladies and gentlemen, India became independent on 15th August 1947. China, the present regime, came into power on 1st October 1949. That is the People's Republic of China. And they are far ahead of us. They are competing with America. Why? Because discipline is there, uniformity of purpose is there, and cohesion by order is there. One may raise a question and say, well, after all, in our constitution, we have enshrined freedom of thought and expression. And after all, I value this freedom of thought and expression. we all value fundamental rights, and the Supreme Court is there to ensure that the fundamental rights are granted to you. Social cohesion can come through law. Social cohesion can come through judgments, and as you know, the judgment of the Supreme Court has the same value as law passed by the Parliament, same authority. And that is why the honorable judges always emphasize that in society we must observe the rule of law. And in rule of law it is said, however high you may ever be, the law is above you. But is it being observed? Many political leaders take pride in infringement of laws and they go scot-free. Why? Because, well, law is not above them, they are above law. So there are problems galore. And since there are problems galore, why is it that we are not able to solve? We have had great leaders in 47 who were very sacrificing. They never made money and they never believed in parochialism. They did not believe in groupism, and yet they also could not set our thought straight. Why so? Liberalism has been a little too much. And since we are supposed to be liberal, well, we remain liberal at certain strata of society and not so liberal at some other stratum of society. For example, the riches that we have, we say, well, we are making tremendous progress. And Chindia is the world, China and India, that they have the future, that this century belongs to them. China is fine, but as far as India is concerned, well, we are not able to distribute the wealth as it should be. Even China has not succeeded in equitable distribution of wealth. You see, what happens is that in the coastal areas of China, people are very rich. In the northwest, in the mountains, where initially Mao Zedong and all had their bases, where our Indian Dr. Kotnis, Dwarkanath Kotnis, he lived, he married there, he died there, and he is respected even now. Dr. Dwarkanath Kotnis is one of the few Indians who have etched a place in the hearts of the Chinese people. And his sisters and others are invited year after year to China, even now. Well, having said so much, that wealth is coming, some people are very rich, some are very poor. So where is the cohesion? The other angle is that we educate them. And well, that's why we have a movement called Sarv Shiksha Abhiyan, that let everyone be educated. Each one, teach one is also there. But are we able to implement it? I'm afraid we have lofty ideas, but implementation is lacking. And that's why I tell my friends who do Ved Prachar that one of the reasons why we, the Vedic people, the Hindus in general, and even some Christians and Muslims also, have failed is where they have not penetrated to the poorer sections of the society. In some parts of the country even now, there are two types of churches. One is for the higher class Christians, that is Christians who are converted from the Brahmin and Rajput classes, and others who are converted from the lower classes. Same for Muslims. So this caste system has been having the upper hand, and that has stopped our progress in a way. So what do we do? The best thing which is happening now, I am really happy to say so, is that in the educated sections of the society, inter-caste marriages, inter-religion marriages are on increase. And they are going on notwithstanding what local panchayats and khafs and others are saying. Because those who are educated, they believe that once the boy likes the girl and the girl likes the boy, and there is no objection, violent objection from the society as such, well, let them go ahead and do it. This will break the barrier of the caste and will help us go further and help in social cohesion also. As far as ethnic minorities are concerned, I'm a little concerned. They have not been joining the mainstream of life. And since they have not been joining the mainstream of life, you find there are two streams going. And sometimes we say the minorities have the first right on the wealth of the country and not the majority, which of course has been debated, disputed, and possibly not implemented the way Structure Committee had recommended. Why? Because as per Constitution of the country, all citizens are equals in the eye of law. As far as this minority and majority and ethnic groups are concerned, well, they have certain rights. Right to education, right to prayer, right to have their own places of worship, so on and so forth. Beyond that, as far as the Consolidated Fund of India is concerned, no ethnic group has more authority or more share of the total wealth of the country than any other group. It's for everyone, and therefore it should be like that. Fortunately, the ethos of our country has been what we call Sarva Dharma Sambhav, that we treat all religions with respect, and no wonder when the Parsis were under pressure from the marching armies of Islam in Persia, they came and sought refuge in Gujarat. And all the Parsis, they came from there and they are well settled. The given Raja of Gujarat, he said, well, you have to adopt our dress, you have to adopt our language, that is Gujarati, and you go by our ethos as such. And they readily accepted because of forward-looking society, and no one has been in the mainstream of life as an ethnic minority better than the Parsis. And yet they have made all the progress. Chief of the Army Staff, Field Marshal, Chief of Air Staff, and in all big posts. So what is the moral of the story? The moral of the story is that while you have served Dharma Sambhav, that let all religions be treated as equals, at the same time you cannot give preferential treatment to one at the cost of the other. I fully agree that it is the duty of the majority community to protect the minority community should there be a need. However, it is the state which has to take on this responsibility, and as far as the state is concerned, they should not discriminate between one section of the people and another section of the people. I shall be failing in my duty if I do not refer to the defense of our country, defense of the neighboring country. I'll take only China in this part. China has made tremendous progress in defense, except in the Navy. They did not have a blue water Navy till very recently. They do not have an aircraft carrier even now. Well, the United States of America has as many as 13 aircraft carriers. Society, the strength of the society, the economic strength, the willpower, the cohesion, is reflected in your ability to defend, protect your country, your constitution, your way of life, your culture. And unless you have good armed forces, you cannot protect them. Because attacks are bound to be there. Because the enemies are there. And as we know, right from the days of Ram and Ravana, Krishna and Kans, and Devta and Asur, the sangrams have been going on. And they always go on. You cannot stop them. So what is the way out? A good, cohesive society defends itself, protects itself, and does not let an invader make heavy inroads and destroy what your culture is, what your education is, what your literature is. Nalanda, Takshila, the libraries were burned. Why were they burned by the invaders? You go to Nalanda now, you will find broken walls, burned walls, no library. Why? Because the ability of the social group, the king, was not there to defend. Charge, the man we often quote in defense, in politics, in international affairs. Charge said it is the duty of the state to have a cohesive society, to motivate people to have a cohesive society, so that defense of the land is given priority and the soldier is treated well. I am not referring to soldiers because I am an ex-serviceman, but this is what Charakya said. And if you do not give good treatment to soldiers, which means airmen and sailors also, then what happens is the defense of the country is jeopardized. And when you jeopardize the defense of the country, what happens? Your culture is destroyed, your religion is destroyed, your women are ravished, and you yourself lose your identity. So Charakya said a state must ensure social cohesion so that defense of the land, defense of the culture, defense of the faith is there. In England, the king or the queen, besides being the king or the queen, is also known as the defender of the faith. And when they have their separate church, the Anglican church, they break away from the Pope of Rome, while king was the head of the church. And as defender of the faith, it was his duty to ensure that the faith was not attacked. That's why even now, there cannot be a king who is not a Protestant, there cannot be a queen who is not a Protestant, there cannot be a prime minister who is not a Protestant. No Roman Catholic can be there. That's why there he left his prime ministership when under the influence of his wife he became a Roman Catholic after leaving prime ministership. So why is it so? It is in their mind the cohesion. The society has to be together. When they do not have a good king or a Protestant king, the Englishmen go to Germany, their enemies, to get a king. The present house of the kings in England is known as the House of Hanover. My wife and I had the privilege of touring Germany, and we went to Hanover to find out what is there that gives kings to England also. And we found that the people there live in a very England needed a king when they came to Hanover and took one from here, and that's why even now it's called House of Hanover. The people who live in Buckingham Palace are of German origin, and many other Germans came. Well, I love the deviating, otherwise I would have said that in the Second World War, many German generals and admirals who were in the service of the king changed their name. Our own Mountbatten, who was the last viceroy here, his father was an admiral and his name was Battenberg. But then it was a German name and it did not go well with the English people when the war was on, and so he changed his name from Battenberg to Mountbatten, meaning remained the same. So he wanted to bring in that cohesion so that he identifies himself with the English people and he fights against Germans along with the English people as such. Well, when we talk of Sawant-VSM and cohesion in society, I would like to quote a few Ved mantras which give us the authority that we must have cohesion of thought and expression. And I'll quote from the Retd, the last suit. You know, suit is a group of mantras. The last suit of the Retd deals with cohesion. And it deals with the whole society having unity of purpose, unity of aim, and will to achieve that aim. Mind you, the leadership which does not have the will to achieve the aim destroys itself and destroys the nation. Because when a king, in other words, a ruler or a ruling party, loses the will to implement its policies for the country, for the defense of the country, when the party loses itself, the king loses itself, the king, well, is almost committing harakiri, committing suicide, and then the nation is on the verge of committing suicide. So, the Ved mantra says, and I shall recite it for you, Sangachadhvam Samvadadhvam Samvemarasi Jaytam Devadhagam Yadhadevi Sanjayana Upasate. Rendered into English, it means, "Oh men, you should all be together. You should speak to each other freely. Do not stay away from each other. Do not fail to communicate. Communication is very important. When you communicate, you clear the cobwebs. And if there are any doubts, they are removed. So speak to each other freely. Avoid discord." Well, in a human society, well, we may agree, we may not agree on a point. That's our prerogative. That's our privilege. But at the same time, we don't have to have cutthroat competition in propagating our own view and shooting down the views of the others. Well, human beings, mind you, it doesn't say Hindus, it doesn't say Indians, it doesn't say Aryas. No, the Vedas are for all. That's why I have taken this month and this example is Sawant-VSM, that it does not refer to any ethnic group as such, but to humanity in general. And when you refer to the entire humanity, you have broadened your canvas, and naturally at that time you will not hate A because his face is like that. You will not hate B because B professes a certain religion. You may get hate mail. I also get hate mail. The other day I wrote an article which is on the internet, and if you go to the internet, it's www.marynews.com. It's one of the channels which gives news, local, national and international. They carried this article. Name of the article is Mizo Brahmacharani in Doon Kanya Gurukul. The people in Mizoram, they said, and they said that it's not possible. How can a Mizo go to a Gurukul, learn Ved mantras, and say that, well, Ved mantras will be preached all over the place? Then one chap wrote an email to me that, gentlemen, you are telling a lie. what you are saying is not true. Firstly, the name you have given of that girl is not a Mizo name. I have written Lasan Puri, new name Nandita. San, he said, is no Mizo name. It should be San, which means I have written Lalsan. He said, no, add G also. I said, no problem. I'll add double G's if you like. But as far as the girl is concerned, she is a born Mizo, brought up in Mizo. Right now she is in the Gokul. And he said, you have written Pui as P-U-Y-I. Wrong. I said, what should I write? He said, write P-U-I-I. I said, okay. You make it P-U-I-I. Anyway, they were somehow convinced. And this afternoon, while I was preparing this talk, I went to the website again to find out if there is something new. And I found that Mizoram on its own website had carried my article, and there were as many as 57 reactions, all in Mizo language written in Roman script, which I could not follow. But apparently they had graded my article 0, so that means they are not happy about it. Moral of the story is that we don't have to be dogmatic in religion. We have to be liberal. And if we are dogmatic, there, well, tension starts and fight starts, riots start. So therefore the Vedas say, well, it's for entire mankind as such. So you should have feelings and understanding for each other. When we all have the same objective, what is our objective? We want to live as human beings. The Ved does not say that be a good Brahmin or be a good Kshatriya. No, that's very secondary. The primary thing is, the Ved says, be a good human being. And the way is, Manobhav, Manushyabhavo. And when you have this aim, well, how do you be a Manusya? When you give up the animal instincts, when you sublimate your animal instincts and desires, then you become a good human being. So Manobhav, that is the aim. So it says that you have the same objective, whether a child lives in France or he lives in the United States of America. Well, they all want to be good human beings, and therefore they can learn from this. You may derive real happiness from life. Life is for happiness. It's not a burden. And you don't live this life, so there's no point in living. I wish I had died long ago. No, never say that. Who says that? One who is not an optimist. One who is a pessimist. That is why among the new generation, whenever I interact with them, I could never say that you have depression. Unfortunately, it has become very fashionable, even among small children. The moment a school teacher says, oh, you haven't done your homework, well, I'll write a note to your parents, and the girl comes out of the class, tells her friends, depression, depression, depression. Well, since you are all, well, fathers, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, so why not let your children's children learn that the word depression should not exist in their personal dictionary. Life is worth enjoying. Live life gracefully, live life happily. Well, there will be ups and downs, but after all we are human beings. Who doesn't face problems? Only a dead body. Are we dead bodies? Certainly not. We are living beings, and since we are living beings, when we have problems, we'll solve those problems. So that is what the Ved says, that live life happily as the rishis have been living heretofore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, there are 4 mantras, but I have given just one as an example. I shall leave out the other 3, but I do not know whether I should leave out this one which talks about thinking. You see, mind is the man. You are a thinking being. And about the thought also, well, the way it says that you must think well. And that is why the best mantra which a child, an adult, an adolescent, everyone recites is the Gayatri mantra. Because it says, "Oh God, let my mind be on the path of righteousness. And if the mind is on the path of righteousness, I shall certainly make progress." The problem: will other ethnic groups accept the Vedas as a guideline? The answer is yes and no. Well, in the armed forces we are very fond of saying the answer is yes and no. Some will, some will not. Those who will, why not? Well, teach them, educate them. Those who don't want to accept, don't force. Because it says it's absolutely voluntary. And when you convince an individual, and the individual will go all out to follow your thoughts, your action, and your way of life. So, patience, patience, patience. Patience is highly recommended. Manusmriti gives 10 principles of dharma. What is dharma? Dharma is not a ritual. It's not lighting a lamp before an idol. It's not bowing down 5 times to the west to say your namaz. No. Dharma is your action, your thought. What is there? And 10 tenets of dharma is there. And then, well, the best that I found is that dhiraj, and that is the first one. You have road rage cases every now and then in Delhi. On minor points, people whip out the pistol and shoot, or they come to blows. Why? There is no dhiraj. There is no patience. So patience is a quality which comes to the rescue when we want to bring all men and women in society together for social cohesion. They should have patience. I have said social cohesion and leadership. Does leadership play a role in this? Indeed, yes. And a tremendous role leadership plays. Decisive leadership. When leadership is not decisive, no aim can be achieved. That is why in 10 principles of war, the first is selection of aim. You must select your aim. And then there is maintenance of aim. You cannot say, right now this is my aim. After 10 minutes, no, that is my aim. You will be a confused man, and the men you command will be more confused. So if you want to create confusion, you keep on changing the aim. Otherwise, do not do that. You must name the enemy. A drawback in our society these days is, we don't name the enemy. We don't say our potential enemies are our next door neighbors. Pakistan is our potential enemy. No. We say, well, just across the border they are planning something which is not in our interest. They are our adversaries. Say they are our enemies. Unless you call them your enemies, you will not have the will to fight against them. I'll again give an example from the Second World War. The British were not keen on fighting against Germans because they had German generals, German admirals, German king. So how can you fight against Germans? And when Hitler's forces captured Paris, moved up north, the British expeditionary force at that time was practicing load and unload of the rifle with drill cartridges. Drill cartridges, not the real cartridges, were being used to practice load-unload. Why? They did not have the will to fight. So unless you name the enemy, the English had not named Germans as their real enemy by then. and then we will have the will to fight. We must say Pakistan is our enemy and we have to fight against Pakistan so that the common man is ready, the armed forces are ready, mentally they are prepared, physically they are prepared, and they are prepared in armaments. We will surprised, of course many of you are ex-servicemen and you know that after the purchase of the force, the Indian artillery has not bought any gun worth the name. Here you have artillery generals sitting, and I'm sure they will support me that no big guns have been bought after the force. Why? The world has made progress. Why aren't we buying? Because people are scared that like Rajiv Gandhi was blamed, you may be blamed. Well, don't be scared of that. You have to equip your armed forces. What is social cohesion if you are not defending the society as such? Society has to be defended. The country has to be defended. The nation has to be defended. And if you are not prepared, well, the chiefs will say, sorry, we are not ready to fight. And I'm sure those who follow the news, they know that all the chiefs, Army, Navy and Air Force have said so turn by turn that their forces are less than 50% prepared to go to war. And it's common knowledge. Isn't it shameful for a nation not to be prepared to go to war when you know that the enemies around are preparing day and night? Today or yesterday there was a news item that the nuclear arsenal of Pakistan is more than the nuclear arsenal that we have. I do not know the authenticity of this news, but certainly it was there and it has not been rebutted, it has not been contradicted. Ladies and gentlemen, therefore, it is the duty of the leadership to ensure that the nation is defended and our nation is defended properly. Inspiration we have to draw from our ancestors, from our forefathers. And when we draw inspiration from forefathers, how they lived, how they fought, and how they sacrificed themselves, then we also will like to do simply. That is why in Kohima, in the cemetery, it's written there, the dying soldier in his last breath said to his colleagues, fellow soldiers, saying meaningful words, when you go home, tell them of us and say, forget tomorrow, we gave our today. So when they give their today, it's our duty that we protect our children, we protect our children's children, and not let the enemy make heavy inroads. Some people feel, why should we go and fight in Kashmir? Well, if you don't fight in Kashmir, the enemy will come to New Delhi, to Noida. Are you going to fight here? Obviously, no. And also I'd like to draw inspiration from a part of a ballad where it says, how else can a man die better than facing fearful odds for the ashes of his fathers and the temples of his gods? Which means for your faith, for your heritage, for your culture, for everything that the society stands for. As a cohesive society, you have to defend, you have to protect, even if you have to sacrifice your life. And for this, a very strong leader is needed, because a leader is a thinker, he is an executor of plans, and above all, a good leader of a cohesive society is a patriot. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.